I remember when Trump said he was going to end all of the wars, Ukraine, Russia, that was going to happen in the first week of his presidency, that he would not start any new forever wars. And yet here we are today. Trump has now bombed Iran once again, starting the war. And he's also armed Ukraine pretty much to the teeth. Let's go over it. So first of all, the memorandum of understanding between Iran and the United States is dead. Trump says the ceasefire is over. He says they're scum. Watch this.
Is the MOU dead?
It's a very interesting question. To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me.
Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are good fucking negotiators?
As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. And if I make a deal with him, we have a deal. And he goes out, he talks. We make a deal. Everyone's a...
It's all projection.
He's the only one that's backed out of any part of the deal.
Everything they say other people are is literally what they've been doing.
It's ridiculous.
No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
He must be the one who's cuckoo. I mean, I actually, there's always been these conspiracies about his mental health. Certainly we saw Biden had totally lost it. But I'm actually now wondering about Trump. I am. I'm actually wondering if the guy is letting it slip a bit. The group that didn't adhere to the memorandum of understanding was Israel. It wasn't Iran, it was Israel the entire time. Part of the memorandum of understanding, in fact, point 1 was stop the war in Lebanon. Israel did not. So...
Sorry, but having a memorandum of understanding signed between two countries and one of them involved is not even the one that's agreeing to any of the signing. You knew what was going to happen. We all knew Israel wasn't going to abide by an agreement between the U.S. and Iran.
Yeah, they've been saying that they won't. So, I mean, when somebody tells you, you should believe them.
Yeah, right. Not only that, but I mean, Trump basically had to beg people, and he's still fucking lost. And now he wants to blame Iran.
According to Iran, their point of view was, if you can't actually adhere to every aspect of this memorandum of understanding, including controlling Israel, then there is no memorandum of understanding. And we're not going to go forward and give you all of the things that you want if you're going to continue to bomb Lebanon. And Israel never stopped. Israel had no intention of actually going through with anything in the memorandum. Israel doesn't want to have anything to do with ending the war. So the breach of the agreement was from Israel, which the United States is supposed to be in control of, but it's obvious now that Israel's in control of the United States. Because here we are again. At one point Trump said, if you remember, just a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that the Iranians were very rational people. He said they were strong, smart people. They're nice to deal with. And now suddenly they're sick, they're scum, they're cuckoo. I mean, and his whole thing was, what he's upset about is that they're closing the Strait of Hormuz, or that they're attacking ships, or they're saying you have to do it our way or no way at all. And, and I'm not in agreement with attacking ships through the Strait of Hormuz, but it is, this is war, and the Strait was open prior to us waging war. We didn't wage war because Iran shut it down. We're at war because they shut it down.
How can we be at war without Congress approval? And they never called it a war because Congress never approved it.
Yeah. As military exercises or whatever they wanted to claim it was. The only reason it's a war is because the populace has acknowledged that it is what it actually is. The government will never acknowledge that it is until they want to try and end it, and then they're going to go and get Congress approval.
Because we're at war. And had we not done that, we wouldn't be in this situation. So he's frustrated because what he wants Iran to do is just open up the Strait of Hormuz, and it doesn't matter what else is going on. That's all he's really caring about. And the fact that they say, no, look, a deal is a deal. You guys aren't adhering to the deal, so we're not adhering to our end of the deal. And he's upset about that. And he's saying, well, they're cuckoo, they're scum. And really, the scum and the cuckoo is Israel, because they're the ones who had absolutely no intention of adhering to the memorandum of understanding at all. Here's Pete Hegseth saying what they actually struck. So now what's gone on is, of course, Iran attacked a couple of the ships, 3 ships, I believe, in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. said, well, then that's war. You're not adhering to the memorandum of understanding. They said, yeah, you weren't either. And so the U.S. then decided to pummel Iran. I think there was about 80 or so strikes. So Iran then decided to strike back. There's about 80 strikes from Iran onto U.S. military bases in Bahrain and Kuwait. And Hegseth, this is the report that Hegseth gave on what they struck inside of Iran. Now, remember, watch this with the understanding that previously they said that they had already decimated the military. So which is it? Did you decimate them the first time? Are you redecimating? What's exactly happening here?
I'd just like to remind everybody watching that we are almost 6 weeks into the 4-week
Oil crisis.
Yeah.
Not to mention Costco and Walmart have both made announcements about not being able to stock their shelves with oil coming soon.
Tell them about last night.
Yes, sir. Last night, as you said, about a small craft that they were trying to harass shipping with. So that was a big part of what we targeted. Underground facilities where they were storing drones or missiles, coastal defense sites, radar sites, surveillance sites, anything used to harass shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. So anything they thought they had rebuilt or capability they were using was a target last night. And tonight, if we need to, on your order, Mr. President, we will hit even more and even deeper, because that's the
And
consequence.
we may put down the blockade. We may put it back, the blockade. And it'll only be a blockade for Iran. Anybody else can have whatever they want. Now, of course, they'll drop some mines if they can, if they can do it. But it's hard because we're taking out those little boats now with the...
Is Iran not already blocking the strait and choosing who they can or who can and can't go through? What would be the point of adding a fucking U.S. blockade that it can do nothing? Right? Ridiculous.
Blockade your blockade.
Same weapon we use to take out the drug lords and the boats coming in by sea. Think of it, 97%. For years, we had fentanyl and all the other drugs coming in from different countries, including Venezuela. And it was, they'd arrest them, they'd bring them to a court, they'd be released, and they'd be back on another boat the next. 97%, what was done in the past had no impact. 97% drugs down coming in by sea. And now we're going to start doing it by land. The land is easier when we had to do sea first. And nobody, I think the 3% of the people that still do that, I think they're the bravest people in the world. We should probably give them a medal for bravery. Because and we're using the same exact missile to take out the mine drop. They call them mine droppers. But we have mine sweepers.
Okay, so they apparently have missiles, they have mines, they still have military boats, they're still attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz. They obviously still have a military. Not only that, but Iran conducted 85 strikes on U.S. military targets last night in retaliation to the U.S. striking Iran. How did they do that without a military? That's so bizarre. How is it possible? Because we're just being lied to. It's just, nothing is as it seems. There is no real win for Donald Trump on this. This is just a losing situation. And really, the United States just needs to back out entirely and get out of the region entirely and just say, you know what, we don't want to have anything to do with it. Let our ships pass. We just have to get out of this entirely. And this whole situation with Israel bombing Lebanon, taking land in Lebanon, is really forcing the U.S.'s hand. Do something about Israel or else. And I don't know if the U.S. can do anything about Israel. Trump says that Iran is a great success. This is what he says.